Hey, welcome back to Ryan's Garage. Hey, do me a favor, would you? If you like what you see here on Ryan's Garage, take your big dumb thumb and push it on the like button, all right? Perhaps leave a message, a comment. Maybe ask somebody to subscribe, like my friend Hayden. Hayden's been promising me new subscribers for weeks. I ain't seen a damn bit of one. Thanks, Hayden, for nothing. All right, so what are we doing tonight? It's gonna be a fun evening. Well, as you know, we're still working on, let me show you, project short bed, project 302, project from hell, the project of the engine. I don't know. You guys never gave me a name, so what the hell is this thing called? I don't know. Anyway, we're working on it, okay? Today, we are gonna put together the valve train, okay? As you can see, we have all the rocker arms laid out. We have the new push rods right here that just came in today. So we're going to put them in the vehicle, in the engine. We're going to inspect these rocker arms. It's going to be a fun-filled time, let me tell you. So stay tuned. So this engine is going to be equipped with roller rockers, 1.6 ratio, okay? When you're putting roller rockers in a vehicle, you want to inspect them. And actually, there's certain ways you want to put them in. But first, let's talk about this, the push rods, okay? I have an old push rod here, okay, that came out of the engine. That's this one here. And we have a new one right next to it. And if we line the two up, you can see there's a bit of a mismatch there. One is longer than the other, okay? The push rods that were in the engine were way too short. And because the push rods were too short, it caused this. The rocker arm was literally riding on the rocker arm stud. Let me get my card out of the way here. It was riding on this, okay, and it was gouging itself out. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to install new rocker arms, okay? So when you install a rocker arm, you want to look inside the rocker arm now. See how one side's flat and one side's rounded off, all right? Well, the flat side faces up, okay? This is the nut, we'll say, or the retainer that keeps the rocker arm or tightens the rocker arm up. That retainer sits on the flat of the rocker arm. See that? So if you put it in upside down, let me spin this baby around. If I can. There we go. We'll get this flipped over for you. All right. It's a rounded on one side, flat on the other. If I take the flat end of the retainer and put it on the round end of the rocker arm, it's not going to work so good. So it's important that we put them in correctly. All right. Before you put the rocker arms in, you want to inspect them for any kind of damage. Now we do have that bit of metal material there that's been gouged away a little bit, but I think it'll be okay with the way they are. I think they'll be all right. This engine's not going to see 8,000 RPM or anything crazy like that. But what you want to do is before you go installing them, let me get you in the vise here so I can show you with both hands. Oh, geez, my hand's in the way. Sorry. What you want to do is you want to inspect the rocker arm, make sure that the roller tip here is in good shape. Okay, so you're rolling back and forth. Make sure they're not notchy. Make sure they feel nice and smooth. Same thing on the actual tip of the rocker arm that has a roller tip. Roller rocker arms are great for less friction. They rev up faster, make horsepower. This thing is made out of billet aluminum. All right, and they're made by Scorpion, as you can see by the Scorpion on top of it there. So these are a nice little setup. Now, how do we install them? How do we tighten them up? To tighten them up, we use this retainer here. All right, now the retainer has two different sizes. There's a hex that's 5/8, okay? You're going to tighten that down to tighten the rocker arm. But to lock it in place, you're going to put your hex key or your Allen wrench, if you want, inside there. And you're going to tighten this part down onto the rocker arm stud. All right? And that's going to keep everything nice and tight and hopefully won't come apart. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these over to the engine. Get this out of here. And we're going to get things set up. Another tip when you're doing rocker arms is you want to keep everything in order. So in other words, this retainer goes with this rocker arm, this one, and so forth and so on. If you use the same lifters over again, the lifters that come off the camshaft, you want to put them back onto the lobe that they came off of. You don't want to be mixing and matching, all right? Now the push rods are brand new, so we don't have to worry about that. But if we were reusing these old push rods, again, same thing. They go with the corresponding cylinder. We don't start flipping them around and putting them anywhere willy-nilly like that willy-nilly. Wasn't that group in the 80s that was lip syncing? Oh, that was Milli Vanilli. My bad. Sorry. All right, let's roll the engine over to the bench on the old engine stand. All righty, here we are. Now, let me get this thing set up here. When you install lifters on an engine, it's always a good idea to pre-lube everything with a little bit of the same bearing lube that we used on the mains and rods. What I like to do is put a little dab on the lifter. All right. So exciting. This thing is nearing the end. We'll be putting this in the vehicle soon, I promise. You guys can all say to me, "Hey, Ryan, when are you going to show me how to put an engine in?" Well, if you tune in, maybe I'll show you sooner than later. All right? And also, on the tip of the valves, I want a little dabble-do on there as well. We don't want anything to wear prematurely when we first start this up. This would be one of those items. Okay? So we're all lubed up. We put our push rods in. You see it has a push rod guide there to keep them straight so they don't get all wonky. All right, so we go like that. We'll drop the rocker arm on there. Now when you do that, you want to make sure that the push rod is in the rocker arm properly, right? So you make sure everything's lined up like this. Okay. Now we'll grab the retainers and we'll just get them started on there. We're not adjusting yet. Okay. The best way to do this is to put the engine, or to put each cylinder, I should say, on the compression stroke top dead center. So I'm going to put the camera down for a quick second and I'm going to rotate the engine around to ensure that these babies are on compression stroke. All right? Sit tight. All right, so the engine is on number 1, top dead center. Now, how do you know it's on top dead center number 1? Well, first of all, you go to the dampener, all right, to the harmonic balancer, and you look at the timing marks. So when 0 is pointed at the tensioner, if you can see that, there's a little mark on the dampener there, all right, and that's the pointer. So when they're lined up, you're either on compression stroke, top of the compression stroke on the first cylinder, or you're 180 out. How can you confirm it? Real simple. Spin the camera around here. Look at the lifters, okay? The lifters are down. Both of them are down. You can see the difference. See, that one's up, that one's down. That means that both valves are closed, and unless something has happened in the universe, this cylinder right here is on number 1, all right? So how do we adjust these rocker arms? Because it's not just a matter of tightening them down and saying, "Oh, it's good." That's not how we do things here, okay? So the one way we do it is we spin the push rod, all right? Let me get a wrench here. Put a little wrench on the thing, on the nut. We spin the push rod, and we slowly keep tightening it. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Why is the camera jumping around so much? I didn't hit it that time. We keep moving the push rod, spinning the push rod, and tightening the rocker arm until the push rod no longer turns. Okay, come on now. It takes patience. You can't rush it. All right. All right, right there. Now, when the push rod finally stops spinning, now we give it a half a turn more, and that's it. All right. Now, what we'll do is, I'm going to do this with 2 hands on the camera. There we go. We hold the wrench still. We use the Allen key, and we tighten up the lock in the middle. Okay. And what this does is it jams. There we go. It jams the nut. It goes down to the bottom of the nut and it jams against the stud on the top of the stud here. All right. So that rocker arm is set. That baby's not going anywhere. The reason for the extra half a turn is because we preload the lifter. All right, so we actually push the plunger down on the lifter a little bit. All right, so we'll do it again. That was the intake. We'll do the exhaust. That's almost ready right there. That's pretty good. The wrench again. I spin it. Oh, hold on a second. Let me back this off. Something's not kosher here. Oh no, it's okay. Ooh, a little bit too much. You want to get it just to the point of where it stops, right there. And a half a turn. And now we Tighten down the lock. Oh, she's tight. There we go. We're set. Now, if I rotate the engine around, hopefully, look at that action there. Oh, that's purty. We want to make sure that the springs don't bind up and bottom out, which they're not. Okay. Looks good. Looks good. Now, another little trick. So we're back to number 1 cylinder, top dead center. Okay. Little trick. If you know the firing order for the engine, on a V8 engine, to do the next cylinder, you just go through the firing order and you turn the crankshaft a quarter turn like that. Okay. Now we just go to the next cylinder in the firing order, which I had to look it up and see because I really didn't do that like an idiot. And you can just set the next cylinder right like that. Okie dokie. So do this in your garage and you too will be a hero. So there you go. Quick video from Ryan's garage tonight. Not a long one. We're not doing long videos anymore, I don't think. They're just too long. And people get tired of it and they turn off. But you have these quick ones like that, just in and out. So I only have 8 more cylinders to go. And this thing will be all just about wrapped up. I have to put the intake manifold on tonight, I believe, once that's done. Maybe even drop the distributor in it. And get this thing ready to go into the vehicle. I have to do the back of it too. I got to put the flex plate on it and stuff like that. So you'll probably see that in the... Nah, you probably won't see it in upcoming episodes because I'm not doing it. That's a bunch of crap. So anyway, so there you have it. Another exciting episode of Ryan's Garage. And remember what my motto is. Learn something today, or tomorrow, somebody's going to call you a shithead. Thanks for watching.